Hello, today we're going to be discussing two key concepts of learning, including critical thinking and transfer of learning, and how these two concepts can help shape our teaching strategies in the classroom. So, critical thinking helps students to evaluate and analyze problems and situations, and transfer of learning can help students apply knowledge from one concept to another concept, and both of these together can help students thrive outside of the classroom and adapt to their environments. Okay, so what exactly is critical thinking? Well, critical thinking is the ability to think carefully and deeply about a situation or a problem, asking questions like, what is the assumption being made here? Or is the evidence valid? Or how reliable is this source of information? As future educators, it is our job to model critical thinking and give them opportunities to practice it. One way we can do this is by teaching our students to evaluate the credibility of sources, especially with all the information online today. It's hard to know what information is good and what information is not. So we can encourage them to ask questions like, who wrote this, or what evidence is being used to support this argument? Another effective method includes debating controversial issues. So, for example, in a high school classroom, you might ask your students to defend multiple perspectives on a historical issue, which can actually push them to consider different viewpoints and strengthen their ability to think critically. So, how exactly can we bring critical thinking to the classroom? One way we can do this is by exploring fewer topics in greater depth. So instead of introducing them to multiple topics superficially, we can explore just a few topics and go deeper into the topics, which can encourage students to ask questions and to analyze the topics more critically. Another way we can bring critical thinking to the classroom is by allowing them to challenge evidence or challenge arguments. So, encouraging them to ask the question, like, is this really true, can really help them to think more critically. And then a couple more is just allowing them to practice the content and thinking out loud during your own thought processes. So, say you're solving an equation with your students, like 2 plus 2, you would basically break it down for them and explain your thought process on why you think 2 plus 2 equals 4. Okay, so now we're going to start our transfer of learning segment. Transfer of learning is basically when students take what they've learned inside the classroom and apply it to real life. So, if they're learning percentages in math class, they can take what they know about percentages, and when they go to the grocery store, they can practice solving for discounts inside the store. Students don't usually automatically know that they're going to use these skills that they learn inside the classroom outside of the classroom, so that's why it's up to us teachers to let them know that, hey, what we're learning here is actually important, and we're eventually it'll be used outside of the formal learning environment. Another way we can model transfer of learning is by connecting with different subjects. So showing them that what they're learning in this class, they might be learning in a different class. So I actually modeled this one time as a student, not as a teacher, but I connected what we were learning about heroism uh, in my interpersonal communication class with what I'm learning about heroism in this class, which is educational psychology. So just basically letting them know that sometimes there's an overlap in information between subjects or classes that they might have. Another one is assigning them group work because, as you know, iron sharpens iron. They can learn strategies from each other, different ideas, and help to pull together and learn from different perspectives. So, another way is by starting slow and building up. So, feeding them pieces of the lesson little by little and guiding them along, and then letting them try it on their own. So this will help them to build their own connections to what they're doing. When students are able to critically think, they're better able to take what they're learning and connect it to what's going on in their lives. So for example, when they learn how to analyze an argument in class, they're able to take those skills and apply them to real world situations. So for example, when they learn how to analyze arguments, they're able to take what they learned from inside the classroom and apply them to real life situations, such as analyzing social media or analyzing news, or even scrolling on TikTok and asking themselves like, is this true? Can I go deeper? All right, if you've made it this far, congratulations, you've reached the conclusion of the videos. Teaching critical thinking and transfer of learning is all about helping students to think for themselves and take what they learned and apply it to different areas of their life. By focusing on real world problems and focusing on making connections between different subjects and also applying what they learned inside the classroom, outside of the classroom, we can set them up for success outside of the classroom. So thank you for watching, and you guys enjoy your night.